Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most hyped video games that I've ever been around to see. The community surrounding this game was hyping this game up to levels of hype that it was never ever going to deliver. If this game launched 100% perfectly, bug-free, it would still never ever live up to this level of hype that the community surrounding this game had brought it up to. Now, before the game even came out, I saw early reviewers were mentioning that the game was buggy, so it wasn't unreasonable to expect a buggy game. We saw this before with The Witcher 3 and other open world games that are quite large, big projects like this. No game launches perfectly bug-free. Now, before I get into any of the negatives, I want to mention some pros here. I played on the PlayStation 5 version, and my playthrough was relatively smooth. I never encountered any game-breaking bugs like other people have. The only things that I ever really encountered were crashes, which I'll mention later on. The initial impressions of Cyberpunk 2077 are incredibly strong. The second you step into this world, you can tell that the developers have poured so much passion into this game. The graphics are just stunning. Everything looks incredible. And this is the PlayStation 4 version, just running the PlayStation 4 emulator on the PlayStation 5. This isn't even the next gen version yet. So to see the next gen version of this game is going to be just a game changer. It's going to be gorgeous. Now, some more pros. Conversations with any of the NPCs and the main characters in the game are just fantastic. You can tell that this game is an RPG first and then a shooter second. It will remind you a lot of Skyrim, give you some Skyrim vibes where you have certain dialogue options that you can unlock if you have, let's say, a certain skill point at a certain level. So you have your tech skill at a certain level, then you unlock another dialogue option. So this game really does encourage you to go out through those side quests, level up these secondary abilities and your levels so that you can unlock these new options in dialogue. The character models and the characters themselves in this game are some of the best in any video game I've seen. Character models themselves are fantastic, faces look real and believable, and each character themselves, the way that they move and act and speak is different from each other. They don't feel generic at all. They feel like a real person. This is probably the best game in terms of making NPCs feel real and unique that I've ever seen. The music and sound effects in this game are fantastic. The music selection is amazing when you're just driving along through Night City. You turn on the radio. The music choices in this game are fantastic. While the map itself is quite stunning, it's really well detailed and every section feels unique. I have had a few issues with the map itself, which I'll mention later in the cons. Now, as I mentioned, it ran relatively smooth for me on PlayStation 5. I definitely got, pretty high frame rates. I definitely didn't go down to 30 or 15 like last gen consoles. I was a pretty smooth 60 FPS, at least it felt like it. I never really had any strong frame drops, so that was good. I was definitely happy with that compared to how some other people have been experiencing the game. There are an insane amount of side quests, and these side quests, they feel like main quests, and they are just, you really want to go out and do these side quests because there's so many just excellent rewards that you get for doing the side quests and other characters that you can meet and progress. It's just, you have to do these side quests in this game. It really is designed for that. But in the side quests to the side, the main quest line itself is also excellent. The main story is fantastic, and there are definitely some moments that are going to surprise you, and there's also a lot of cool cameos for some people that you might recognize. I won't spoil anything, but this story has lots of multiple choice options throughout the game, and there are multiple endings as well. So this is definitely a game that encourages multiple playthroughs, which is excellent. The skill system, perk system, and skill tree are also fantastic. You can unlock some really cool stuff there. Cool abilities, enhance your existing abilities, great stuff. The Ripper Docs, where you can add cyberware and upgrade your main character and give them special abilities that you couldn't do just through the perk system. Really, it makes you feel super badass. It's awesome. Unfortunately, this is where we start to get into the cons. Now, we all know this game is buggy and glitchy. And that is an understatement. I mean, this game Playing on PlayStation 5 is one of the best places that you can play the game if you want a smooth experience. If you're going to play this game, I highly recommend playing on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Those two are where you're going to get the best, smoothest experience. However, the one area where the game really disappointed the most was in the amount of crashes that I had. I was expecting a couple crashes throughout the playthrough, from everything that I've heard, but I've had probably just in the main quest alone, so about 18 hours through the main quest line, I've probably had over 20 crashes. And most of that was during the final boss battle, which I won't spoil, but most of that was during the final boss battle, and that really just made getting to the final boss not enjoyable because all you dealt with was crashes every couple seconds once you load in the fight. Gameplay is pretty okay, but gunplay is pretty clunky and smooth. I played on the medium difficulty because I wanted to take my time with the game and just more enjoy the RPG element, but I ended up increasing the difficulty to a harder setting just because the AI was just really clunky on normal, not very smart. Melee combat I found was really inconsistent. It doesn't feel great, boxing and all that. But also I found that melee was actually, your hands were as strong as most guns, so I don't know if that was just my strength ability was really high or something, but I would just be able to just punch out enemies and it'd be faster than even shooting them, so pretty unbalanced in that way, but I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Now, something that I did not experience, but multiple people have been experiencing, is corrupted save files. If you took advantage of the crafting and looting in this game and you have a really packed inventory and you've been playing for a really long time, there is apparently a save file limit of about 8 megabytes. If you go over this 8 megabytes, it will basically corrupt your save file and you will be unable to load that save file. Once again, I have not experienced this myself, but if you do experience this, you basically have to either load a new save where you were under that 8 megabyte limit or restart the game. So fair warning to anyone who does play this game, keep your inventory low. Don't pack it full of stuff. Now, I wanted to get into some of the reasons why the game is in this state. And it's pretty simple to me. There just was not enough time to polish this game before release. I have a feeling that the CD Projekt Red management really wanted to get this game out before Christmas and get it out as soon as possible so that they can stop disappointing a lot of people, losing pre-orders, so that they can just get the game out and make some money, and then they would deal with whatever repercussions from this later. But I think it should be pretty clear to them now that this was the wrong move to take. The game should have been delayed another probably 6 months just to get these small but not so small issues just ironed out a bit. This game just needed a little more time. And I know everyone wanted this game to come out, but games should only be released when they're ready. There's no point in releasing the game in this unfinished state. We've seen it happen before with games like Anthem, where they're just not done yet and they release them anyways. And it never ends well. I feel so horrible for the developers at CD Projekt Red because you can tell they poured everything into this game. There's so much passion from these developers into this game. They really enjoyed making this game. But the management decisions just ruined it, and I feel so bad for the developers getting all of the backlash from this, because it's not their fault. This game is going to be so incredible in a few months' time, and it's just such a shame that it had to be released now. The fact that Sony, of all companies, had to remove the game from the PlayStation Store says everything. Sony, I mean, they have the most strict refund policy out of everyone in the gaming industry, and they still are offering refunds and removing it from the PlayStation Store. That says everything you need to know about the current state of this game. So in the end of this video, I'm just going to go over it. Cyberpunk 2077 is a fantastic game. It's not ready for release. If you're wondering what it's just like playing the beta version or something like that. It's not finished yet. The game itself, the core is so incredible. It's just not done. That's it. It's just not done. All of the little polish is just not done yet. So it's hard to recommend this game right now. And if you can even get the game right now, because I'm sure it's going to be pulled from the Microsoft Store as well soon. So just wait a few months, and this game is going to be just incredible to play. So that's it for this video, guys. If you could leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel, it would be much appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.